the point in which we're going to review the Connect assignment. First of all, I was really happy with everybody's submissions. First of all, everybody got things up and running. I don't know if that was because the directions were clear or the video was clear. If they're not, let me know. But it was frankly a really challenging assignment, I think, for freshman students to be putting together all these different software and hardware components, and then to do something creative on top of that. I think this really was a pressure project, and I know some of you felt that. That's great. I'm happy about that. And I'm really happy with the results. I want to go back and look specifically. I want to give you an idea of how we did the grading for this, because it's going to clue you into the final project. And we're going to start thinking through that. It should give you an idea of what to expect there, what sort of criteria we're looking at, and how we're attending to the information that's given in the prompt, then how we use that to evaluate what you turn in. And as well, I want to visit the concepts that were asked of you in that criteria, namely for loops and easing. So first of all, as you know, the assignment was worth 15 points, 5 points for documentation, 5 points for aesthetics, 5 points for technical details. Everybody, all the groups did great for documentation. That means you were asked to do like a 30-second video, a screen grab. Everybody turned that in fine. And then you were asked to submit your sketch.js file. Everybody turned that in fine as well. There was one group who turned in the whole project directory. Just make sure that you're attending to these details here. They make it a lot easier for us to go and grade these if we don't have to go and dig around it. So please just make sure that you continue to do a great job following those directions exactly. Plus, there are like 5 free points for just being detail oriented. Okay, the second criteria was aesthetics. So here we're looking for what kind of creative energy and what kind of creative thought did you put in to this project. And we saw some really great examples, and then some others that have room for improvement. I want to break this down for you. Things that, is there a way to move this thing? Pen. What's this? Hide tools. Okay, good. So, oh, now this thing came up. Go away. Great. So, great. So things that folks gained points for in aesthetics, there was maybe a sense that you had brought together a kind of scene, whether this was an animated scene, something that would resemble, perhaps like a video game background or cartoon background or something like this, a picture of any kind, a landscape, right? Some portal into a kind of world. And that was usually done by using some drawing elements to maybe draw a background or something like that, or add other objects in, which gave us a sense of the world that we were trying to get into. There are some examples of that. We'll have a look in a second. Another way that people brought a kind of aesthetic unity in was through considering what kinds of colors get added into the drawing, or are playing with geometric forms in such a way to establish a kind of compositional balance, or rhythmic. This would be, maybe using that kind of geometric forms in time. And we'll have a look at some of those things in a second. But in general, we could say that we wanted to award points for folks that extrapolated beyond the demo sketch, or basically went in a totally different direction, but still used the technical framework of the demo sketch, right? Things that would hold people back from getting points. Maybe you started to bring in an aesthetic world, but it was not expanded as much as we thought could have been, given the skills that you have in P5.js so far, and especially since you all were working in groups. So in other words, there's maybe too little going on. um, but weren't quite. I mean, it's not as if, yeah. Anyway, um, perhaps the color palette was a bit too vague. Sometimes there's some examples where folks were using like the random object, or sorry, the random function to choose colors on the fly and randomize colors, something like this. We knocked it like maybe half a point off or something like this, I think. And yeah, so in general, if you didn't really do any kind of variation from the demo sketch, we were going to knock that off as well. Okay. As far as technical, like I said, everybody got things up and running, which is to say, hooked the Connect up to the processing sketch, which fed into P5JS. So we gave 2.5 points out of 5 for that, no matter what. Again, really pleased that everybody got that working. On top of that, we wanted to see that you were using, we asked you to use a for loop and use easing. We gave points for using those effectively. You lost points if you didn't attempt those, or you lost a bit fewer points if you attempted them, but they didn't really work the way